All right, my name is Duke Garwood. I'm from the island of Britain.
Great. First of all, I want to ask you, so I will tell you how I discovered you. I discovered you relatively recently, right? And I went from your earliest music, what I could find online, which is Satin Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
And I started with that one, and I liked it because it's my jam. Like I like that kind of.
You went in on you came in on the top end, so to speak.
Yeah, I went to the top end, and then I started to go backwards and do research, and then I found out that I actually really like your music, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about. Dude, first of all, let's start with the art, right? That you did for the Satin Warrior, right?
Yeah.
So it's like 20-meter. Is it like rice paper?
Yeah, it's rice paper, Japanese or Chinese rice paper in a roll.
Yeah, and then you scrolled it, right?
Yeah. So you start painting one end and you just go through, and then you don't ever see the whole thing, which I like as a process because you're never stuck on the last bit. Yeah. So I paint it like a story, like a cartoon. I'm not always inspired to. It takes about a few weeks sometimes, or longer. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it because it was, I wanted to do a video like that, and it's kind of...
Because I saw that you do art like this, and I saw that your friends said that finally you're starting selling at some point you started selling the art, but they were trying to convince you for a long time.
I started selling it now, and I want to sell a lot more. Yeah. But it took me a while to get into selling it, because I didn't want to... It's hard to put a price on things, and
especially art.
Yeah, I don't like to put a price on.
You're probably one of the artists who gives as presents a lot of your art.
And I will tonight when I've had a few drinks, and I'll get free pictures. Yeah.
And what will happen with the 20-meter art?
I'd like to sell that. Either I was thinking about that one, and I'd like to either auction that for a charity or something.
That's cool.
Do something else. I mean, or unless someone wants to give me so much money that I can buy a house. And because I would charge, I think if they had enough money, I'd want like $1 million. Or if someone was nice enough, I'd give it to them.
Or let's do like this 20 meters as paper, as cash, like a 1-to-1 ratio. It's a long ratio.
Paper to paper would be, yes.
When did you start painting? Was always your thing, like at some point? Yeah. Probably music was first.
Music was first, but they were the same time. My mother's a painter. And I grew up with her. She taught me how to paint, and but at the same time, I always played music. So encouraged in music from very young. So I've been playing instruments since I was about 3 or 4 years old, properly. So like I'm kind of highly trained, but I'm also not at all trained because I can't read music or anything. I can't remember any of those things. I used to be able to. I could read music better before I was 10 than I can now, but but I was fortunate, in my life to be encouraged in arts and be able to do it. It's very lucky. But it also makes you, it's interesting. I mean, it's probably why I'm kind of a lone wolf, But but painting is something I find nowadays, I love it more and more and more. It's...
But not more than music, of course.
No, not more than music. I find it's very different thing, relatively to my mental state. That when the painting is flowing, the music tends to be flowing too, and sometimes the painting isn't flowing, but the music is. The music is always flowing. The painting sometimes is flowing.
All right. You think it's like some part of your soul that needs...
Yeah, it needs it. Like there's a nice feeling with painting. Sometimes it's good, and because I have kind of a singular way that I paint, and I'm not trying to paint in another way, if you know what I mean. That allows me then all the space to move in music, so I can keep developing music while I don't. My painting gets better, but I don't really develop, if you know what I mean. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. They do help each other along, but I can't imagine to suddenly be radically changing my style of painting. because I do it in the Oriental way, very much just
So it was-
brush and ink on paper, you know.
Was it like that from the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I did play around with oils at one point, but I was rubbish at that. And I find, my favorite medium is the Oriental brush with the big brush, ink, and very absorbent paper. That's what I like. Yeah, that's my style. That's my bag, because it's immediate, and you can't go back over it. You have one go, and I apply that to music in the studio. You have one go. If you don't like it, you throw it away, and have another go if you want. But you don't try and make good on something you didn't like first time. Like always, it's got to be. I like the purity of the one go, because that's you straight. That's you true. You know, that's pure.
I heard that you like raw stuff, right? Like there's like one go, you know, like. And didn't know that you do it with your art also. Is it like? Do you think that you can express some things, part of your soul, with visual art that you can't do with music? It's
So yeah, I believe you can, because it's a different part of your brain operating, and also I think with far as music goes, you're creating kind of moods, in a sense, fantasies often that you might get that feeling. It's fantastical in a way, and painting maybe not. It's painting is fantastical, but that involves, it's all in the viewer. Music can absolutely dominate its surroundings, as we know, and they're going to put a tune on in here right now. It will dominate this entire place, and depending on the tune, it will dominate this place. But there could be a painting on the wall that isn't, unless it's one hell of a painting, it's not going to dominate in the same way. And if you don't look at it, music is extremely powerful form, which why we have to be careful with it. Because it's not dangerous, but in a beautiful way it is dangerous. Like in the most exciting way, you can bring down the government or all of it with music.
That's what I wanted to ask you at some point regarding the connection, the impact of music, art in general, and music, because I think like music is a direct. From old art medium, music is probably the most direct to the soul and immediate, like it has like somehow brings up emotions in you. With visual art or like cinema or something like this, you need some time and meditate on it maybe, and then you'll get.
Yeah, I wonder what it's all about.
Yeah.
I mean, when David Lynch just passed, and we can all revisit his films with maybe a new idea, like a new way of seeing him. Now we kind of realized that he was playing with darkness to just give us a different view on things. That it's not absolute darkness that he's playing with. It's not pitch black doom. It's much more broad than that. So, like I say, but music being, you're either into it or you're not into it, and you might get into it. I like opera, but I don't like all opera. But I do like a bit of opera. But I mean, music to me is immensely powerful. Like, but it affects me weirdly. Like, a lot of people don't get affected like I do. I mean, they're probably fortunate in that regard, because it has profound physical effects on me. And if I don't like it, it can really make me quite sick.
Damage you.
Yeah.
Right.
If I'm around the wrong sounds, I can get ill.
But is it because the music, in this case, let's say, quotes evil? Because it has like inside like some kind of it's like we're talking about magic stuff, kind of.
Yeah, magic stuff. I think there was a point. I don't know what record labels were doing, but or even what the artists were doing. But if it feels a bit evil and it sounds a bit evil, then maybe it's a bit evil. And that's a dangerous form to be playing with something as potent as music. But then again, it's all different tastes. Some people like that kind of sound and feeling out of it, because maybe it actually helps them to feel bright, and in the same way, some kind of light, fluffy music might make you feel really dark, if and want to smash things up. I mean, it's a tricky wormhole to go down, that we're going down here about music. Talking in terms of where we are in the world now, like right now, 2025 on February the 27th, it's a time for musicians to really be careful about what kind of energy they're putting over.
True.
I believe, because there's a lot of bad energy out there.
I know that's true. I know that you've been angry, then you melt down a bit, and then as you were a true artist, you were responding to the world around us, and then
I can do that. I do, and I hate social media, but
it's part of it.
It's all part of it, and often I'll write diatribes, and I don't keep them around long. I do get angry. I mean, I'm permanently angry. I think I was born angry. But that's not my fault.
Is it rage or anger,
I don't know. I think it's more like, I'd say it's more like John Lydon's version. It's an energy, but it depends on the surroundings. It's dependent on how the energy feels and gets manifested. Yes, I'm angry, but it's an energy that I carry, and I don't direct it. It's a self-contained furnace.
So it's like you did a good furnace, and it helps you to write your music.
It helps me to write my music, get up. It helps me to get through the day and do the things I've got to do. And often at times it's not actually angry. It's a whole load. It's like, and when it does go angry, sure, I get out of the way of people and get along with things, and maybe play things like saxophones is really good for you when you're feeling really wound up. Or smash some stuff. Or dig holes, like digging in the ground, is really good for you. Like if you need to. So,
like physically?
Yeah, if you're a gardener.
Physical term that I have no idea.
No, if you're a gardener or something, or like work on a farm, and it's good for you. Dig some earth, like it's really good for you.
I agree. I just didn't expect that from saying.
Yeah. No, I think you got to, but in the end, I've never actually taken it out on my guitar. I've never felt the need to thrash my instrument.
I wanted to ask you, right, before the instrument, right? What is your main instrument or the first instrument that you go to as you need to express yourself?
It's usually the one that will give me the comfort and the peace is the guitar and also the piano.
Yeah.
But the piano is more, that's my private business. One day I'll play more in public.
Yeah, I haven't heard you play piano sometimes, maybe on other people's music. Yeah.
I mean, I know some terrific piano players, and I sometimes write songs on the piano.
Yeah.
I like to. I simply don't practice it enough to go and play a show. Whereas, because I'm always playing the guitar.
Yeah.
I like the malleability of the guitar. I like the malleability of the strings. So really, it is my go-to, and it's always been my go-to. I mean, that was my first instrument. Really young, too young to know what it was, or even understand it at all. But then later, I had played the piano. When I was 4 years old, I started playing the piano. Yeah, it was weird. But it was the 70s. It was different then. Some people gave me a piano when I was that age. Because they believed I was a prodigy.
Gifted, yeah.
Yeah.
But you are gifted.
Maybe, but
come on.
But because apparently back then, right, you could play me a tune and I could play it back to you.
Yeah, you're a prodigy.
Yeah, but I don't know where that went, man. I mean, I can't do that now. I can't even
understand what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't even know I can't remember.
You couldn't read music. No, but at that time you could, right?
I could read music, but I had this gift anyway. So they gave me a piano when I was little. And then because of the world, I think these things, they get corrupted in the brain. I don't know if it's chemicals or the wrong food or sugar or whatever happens in your life when you discover booze or when you you know, when your hormones change, you know, when you're young, but those things, they kind of vanish from you and turn from being an instinct into something you have to work on. And then, but that's the path of music. So maybe I started out really gifted, but then since I was a teenager, I've had to work very hard to be able to bring it all back again so I can make music. You know what I mean? I can't rely on it. It's not something I can rely on anymore, which is good because you got to work for it, I think. And because then you can discover what you feel, like you discover what you love, you discover something in that search, you know, you really do find out what it means to you, because otherwise it's something I can just throw away.
You don't appreciate it.
You know, I can go and do something else, but I can't because, you know, I want to keep learning and I want to be able to get back to being that kid again who can just play you something back just like that. Maybe I will when I'm an old man.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what happens.
Maybe it's all the full circle.
Yeah, when I'm sitting around and ancient.
I can play the tune again.
Peeing myself.
I got to the point.
No, good questions. I mean, you know, I'm intrigued by it. I just feel like music's the greatest adventure you can have in yourself. Like, to find your confidence and your strengths and your sort of real like love muscle, and then you can share it with other people. And you never know what they're going to think either, you know. And you can also never rely on the fact that you think you're really great, because you can have a bad show. And that can have a number of factors, and none of them is anything's fault, or maybe, but if you are the performer, it's definitely going to be your fault if it doesn't work. You can't blame the sound or the lights or the PA guy or the venue or the fact that your rider wasn't what you wanted. It's you know, and that I think is important for me anyway. It's all down to me, you know, and in that, then I can rely on myself, be self-sufficient, you know, take care of business and enjoy a delicious beer in Vienna, you know, which is like a luxury, you know, because it's a luxury life, right? So you got to work for it. Because not many people get to go to Vienna, drink a nice beer, have a nice chat, let's sit in a beautiful place.
So you're a believer in hard work and in art,
oh yeah, definitely. Like, because, you know, you want to be involved in the arts.
Oh yeah.
Then you're going to have to work a lot harder than anybody else.
And if you want to live like a life an artist, like a proper one, you need to work hard.
Work very hard, and you have to, and not try and separate yourself from everybody else, because it's very hard getting up every day or going to a job every day. I mean, I've done that, and I still have to do that too. Yeah. Right? So I know what it's about, but I do have this fortunate aspect of my life.
Let's talk about your current music. What have I haven't found any information. What have you been doing recently?
Yeah. So the tune Saturn Warrior, that was the basis of making a new record, and the rest of the record doesn't sound much like that tune, but that's a good record anyway. I have 2 new albums, and how I'm going to put them out, I'm not sure, but the Saturn Warrior is definitely, hopefully, going to materialize in a digital form and maybe some kind of product form in April. If all goes well, that's a collection of tracks that span from quite a large range of time that I finally got together. And I made a record with a cat called Hugo Race, who's a legend from Australia. He was in the original Bad Seeds with Mr. Nick Cave.
Yes.
And I got to record with him in Italy. And we made a cool collection of cuts together, which will be something I want to put out pretty quickly after Saturn Warrior. Because it's been too long to put a record out, so I want to put out 2 really quick. And then we'll see. And what kind of band I'll have, I don't know.
But do you want to have a band, or you want?
Yeah, because I have a great. Well, I have me alone. I have a great duo. I have a great trio. I want to make a larger group that has horns, so I can pull off these tunes. But how far and wide we could travel will be down to the money. You know, these horrible things. Ideally, my ideal situation is I travel with a core group, and then players from different places join me. So if I need some horn players, I come to Vienna, I cast the net around, and horn players from here come and join me, rather than, because otherwise what happens is if I try and take a big group on the road, I'm not going to be able to afford it. And it means I have to say, oh, I can't do this tour, because if I want a larger thing, I want to be doing something different. So I'm racking my brain and racking everyone else's to try and make it happen. But you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I've seen so many bands like they book a tour. Yeah. And right before they're going to go, they're canceling it because they realize they can't make any money. They can't afford it. They're going to lose money. And I feel for them. I hate, it's a terrible thing. Yeah. It's just so much work, but there's so many people involved in everything, like you're not isolated when you put a tour together. There's a lot of people working. So I always try and make sure long before even I tell anyone I've got a tour, if I can do it or not. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. I'm doing this one alone, but this one is nice alone. It's suiting being alone. The venues are good alone. Everything's perfect, this one. The next one, I want to bring the Saturn Warrior out, change the world, bring down the government. Everything's going to be great.
Wow, I wish you best of luck with that. I hope if
I'm a positive guy.
I'm like, if anybody can do it, I know you can do it. Like I have my faith in you. And I would like you to do it than somebody else. Somebody else can also do it, but I know you can.
No, we should all do it at once, and I'm really excited about it.
All together.
Yeah, we're going to do what we're meant to be doing, which is not trying to be famous rock stars, but use our immense and awesome powers to do something fantastic rather than trying to isolate ourselves in an elite platform, which is what's always made me feel sick, which is why I've always been a bit anti all that. Because it's like, why would you want to use all your awesome ability to simply isolate yourself, put yourself on a shelf with elite, where you want to sit in the VIP room and go on first-class flights? I mean, what's that about? I don't understand it. It's much more fun and coach.
That's why I didn't. Like, I was thinking of asking you about like what angers you, but then I was like, I don't want to. Like, it's gonna be a rant.
Many things do.
Yeah, I know.
But they're the things that now I think. Not that I'm ahead of my time or ahead of the game, but I think the things that I've always been angry about, I think everyone's angry about now.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
So I feel quite relaxed at last. In fact, I'm the mellow guy.
Yeah, you are.
I'm like, I've been angry about this since I was a little kid. So like, hey, we're good now. Everyone's caught up at last. It takes a while to realize. Mm-hmm. But I'm fortunate in traveling the world and having insight like that. Yeah.
All right, Duke. So the music will come out in April, and you will have the rest of the tour, because this episode will come out in 2 days. I will post it.
Beautiful.
Because that's the whole idea. I do it fast so that people who are on the tour can learn about you and everything.
Oh, lovely. That's really great. Nice.
Yeah, so I wish you all the best. Could you please give me a song of yours, which is, I will put at the end of the interview, which is a good introduction to you.
Saturn Warrior. You move like starlight, quick like the silver. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out at the crushing rain, no sense in soaking. Sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out at the mystery train. No sense in knowing sunrise is leaving soon. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out at the rays of rain. No sense in bleeding. No sense in bleeding. Sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like the silver. Looking out at the blazing hills. No sense in running. The sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out at the mystery train. No sense in knowing sunrise is leaving soon. You move like starlight, quick like the silver. Looking out over dirty lakes. No sense in crying. Sunrise is leaving soon. Riding high on payment due. No sense in hiding. Sunrise is coming soon. Looking out on love's refrain. I hold my sweetheart. Sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like the silver. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out on a crushing rain. No sense in smoking. Sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like silver. Looking out on love's refrain. I hold my sweetheart. Sunrise is coming soon. Sunrise is coming soon. You move like starlight, quick like the silver. You move like starlight,